It is Sunday morning, and you know what that means. It's NFL Football Championship Sunday, and we're going to build the perfect betting ticket, talk some Browns news from throughout the week, and get you ready for the conference championships. Let's go.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara, the sickest Cleveland Browns podcast.
Chubb runs, he's to the 10, 15, he's to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. There goes Chubb, he's to the 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown, Shabba-lubba hub.
It's gonna be sick.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. Championship Sunday. Who's ready? Bills, Chiefs. Before that, Eagles, Commanders. I think it's going to be a terrific day of football. We're going to be welcoming in just a few minutes our girl, Joe Madden from the Sports Grid TV all the way out in Calgary. And I just want to show off, guys. Check out the new hardware from our buddies at Trophy Smack. I don't know if you can see that as clear as it. Trophy Smack. And, hey, I got my two-time fantasy champ for this year, for the 2024 season. Won 2 fantasy leagues, both in the sleeper leagues that I hadn't really played on before. So one in that, one's dynasty, and 2 QB. One was just straight your straight up redraft type of deal. But check that out from Trophy Smack. Says legend on the side. So your Trophy Smack rings, your trophies, of course, championship belts. We use it on the Railbird side too. You can all get it. I got a link right in my profile page pinned at the top at AndyMC81 on X. And of course, also the link is there to get your own fantasy champion shirt and professional fantasy football player shirt. Some Browns gear too. Make sure you're checking that out right away at AndyMC81 pinned at the top on X. Follow us too at SickPodBrowns, Instagram at AndyMCSports. We'll get cooking, man. We're going to jump into the chat here. Before we get into the games and build our betting ticket for this week, make sure you're clicking subscribe, notifications on to the channel, share it around. We love having you all in. But some Browns news this week. Tommy Rees, of course, new offensive coordinator, was introduced to the media, even though he was on the team last year. No real point to talk to a tight ends coach. Skipped the QB coach, went right to OC. What I liked was Kevin Stefanski, and we know this Browns team, they dance around stuff, and they're so coy and vague. He wasn't coy or vague. He's like, I'm calling plays. And he said, I have the right to change my mind. We all knew that was happening. Makes perfect sense. You're not going to have a guy go from a tight ends coach, pop all the way up to call plays. It's ridiculous. What it does tell me, of course, is that this is a return to the Stefanski system. Now, can Tommy Rees, who's worked under Nick Saban, Brian Kelly, has a good mind apparently with QBs, with play design from the college ranks, pop in a few wrinkles, another good voice, young, fresh voice in the room. I dig it. I like it. So he's in there, said the right things. And what stood out to me the most was what he said about quarterback. It wasn't about spreadsheet numbers, analytic speed, or this, or spark scores. He said decision-making. That's something that's been lacking. And we love our guy, Jameis Winston. But decision-making all the time with all those interceptions, not the best. Thinking. Now, how much of a say is Tommy Rees going to have in the draft process? I would expect not a lot, but could he be a voice? Could he be that little bit of reason? Say, hey, I want a decision maker. I want a guy who's going to be cerebral. Something maybe you can't measure on a test. Maybe you got to go visit. Get to know the guy. See the measurables. East West Shrine Bowl game and practices were this week. Apparently, Andrew Berry was there. They met with Shedeur Sanders. If you missed last week's episode on Tuesday, tremendous chat with Lance Reisland from Cleveland.com, where we broke down some game film and tape on the positives and negatives of Shedeur. I want to know, what do you think of Shedeur Sanders? Not just for the Browns, but in general. As far as, is he the best QB in this draft class? Is he second behind Cam Ward? Is he not in your top 2? Makes me a bit nervous with the drifting. We did see that. And of course, what we won't know behind the scenes is the Dion factor. Will he allow? And, we crap on Dion. Like, oh, he's going to be involved. And Shedeur Sanders said as much at the East West Shrine Bowl. It's like, look, my parents are involved and care about me. They don't want me to go to a bad situation. I get it. You also, though, in the situation, don't want your flamboyant father interfering once things happen there. So I'm still cool on Shedeur Sanders. I wouldn't be furious if they drafted him if they did Jalen Milroe. We'll get to this show this upcoming Tuesday. Browns free agent targets, early mock draft. We're going to be diving in because I've been doing a lot of mocks and building my own side. I think we got some names to keep an eye on. But jump in the chat here. Let's get this going. We're going to have our sick picks. We're going to build the parlay party. And joining us on the Stadium Mustard Hotline in just a moment is going to be Joe Madden. From ballparks to backyards and everywhere in between, Stadium Mustard, smooth but spicy mustard, rich in taste and tradition. Stadium Mustard, real and organic, not manufactured. You can get it at Huntington Bank Field, all throughout Ohio, America, Cleveland, Canada. Check it out. I'm telling you, people, it is sensational. Your burgers, hot dogs, deli sandwiches, pork chops. I keep raving about the pork chops. I'm not kidding. Stadium Mustard just adds that little extra zing to it. And it's great. I love it. Stadium Mustard. Check them out on social media, the website. Order it up. Stadium Mustard is where you want to be. Perfect for any football food and perfect for any football betting advice is our girl from Calgary. She's up early with us. Joe Madden from Sports Grid TV.
Good morning. How are you?
Welcome. Great to have Team Jandy back together for the conference championships. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Super excited for it. I'm kind of sad though this morning. Like, think about it. We got 3 games left of this season. When you put it that way, I don't know. I wish we were still in week 11. That's for sure.
I know. Doesn't it seem like, and maybe it's every year, but it seems like it flew by extra fast this year for some reason. Fast. I don't know. Right?
Yeah, it went way too fast this season. So I just can't believe how quick it snuck up on us. I'm excited for today's game. So they should be great games. I'd love to see the upsets. I'd love to see the Washington Commanders taking on the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. Not sure we're going to get there.
It's there's a lot of intriguing matchups. And although I think the vast majority don't want another Chiefs Super Bowl appearance, with these 4 teams, I don't think you have really a bad matchup. Like, there's lots of good excitement, I think, that can come from anything. But I'm with you. I think a Bills Commanders or even Bills Eagles, just Bills and anybody else, I think might be the general consensus if you're not a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and it's funny because there was a post out by FanDuel saying if you don't want to see the Chiefs three-peat, you're definitely a sick person. So I think a lot of us are sick out there, Andy, right? Like, I don't see it being something I want to see, right? Like, yes, history is being made and congratulations to Mahomes, but we've seen the same Super Bowl, right? Like, how many years do we have to go through that?
Exactly. We got the Taylor Swift experience too last year on the field. I get it. We see it. Okay. But it's like, Joe, what's interesting is we went right from the Belichick Brady, sick of the Patriots, they're done, right to another dynasty. And it's so weird because it is so hard to be consistent and have any sort of continuation from a championship perspective in the NFL, except just apparently like one or 2 teams just randomly pop up and keep it going. So I'm with you. We've seen this story before, but the Chiefs are that damn good for a reason.
Yeah, they're just absolutely fantastic out there, and they know how to work the system as well. Yeah. They don't take those penalties, Andy, and I know a lot of people saying the refs are on their side, and there's some calls that go their way and some calls that don't, right? But I think Andy Reid has them trained not to make those penalties out there on the field, and when they do, they're abrupt, and yes, sometimes they get overlooked, but I just think Andy Reid has this team in the perfect position to win those games. So hats off to him as their head coach.
Great point. And it's almost a little bit, I feel, of a rope-a-dope strategy for the Chiefs. They wait you out. They won't make those mistakes. They'll wait for you to make the mistake and then pounce. And you're right, Joe. They are so well coached and have been through every type of situation to overcome that they know what to do and they're confident and calm in that situation. So they'll wait for you to make a mistake. Patrick Mahomes' worst statistical season like ever for him doesn't have to be. He'll just wait, make that one play, boom, off to the Super Bowl.
Right. And this is also a team that we don't have to worry. If one of these players go out, they just work their system and they put someone else in place of them and they're still able to get it done offensively. So it's going to be really interesting to see what they have planned for the Buffalo Bills today. I really hope it's an exciting matchup that we see back and forth scoring. But at the end of the day, I just want Josh Allen to have that ball, score in that final drive, and leave it all out on the field today.
Well, it might come down to, like we saw
Yeah.
a couple years ago with what 13 seconds left. Whoever has the ball last. And I hope it comes back down to this scenario. But Joe, what stood out to me, I wanted to get your thoughts on this. I feel this is the best Bills team and the best version of Josh Allen to beat the Chiefs. If they can't beat the Chiefs today, I don't think anybody can because of this fact. You saw last week the stat line. Josh Allen, no touchdowns, no interceptions throwing, ran in 2. It seems to be that the Bills are adapting like the Chiefs did a year ago, where stuff wasn't working. They worked in the run game. They seem selfless. Josh Allen, 2 years ago, he'd be throwing interceptions. He'd get impatient. This is a patient Josh Allen. This is a patient and poised Bills team. And you just get that look in their eyes like, man, if there's going to be a year, it's now. I think this is the best Bills version of Josh Allen coming in today.
I absolutely agree. You look at Josh Allen, he's really playing like Superman out there on the field. He's putting all the weight of this team on his shoulders, using his legs, being able to run those touchdowns in. And that's what we need out of Josh Allen in this game. He has to go in with the mindset, okay, no one's open. We didn't call a run play. I have to just run that ball. I have to move it down the field. He has to think like Patrick Mahomes. And we see that out of Patrick Mahomes. So I do think he's evolved over this season. And I really do believe that they have every opportunity of getting the win as long as he comes out looking like that. And we know these playoffs have been brutal for quarterbacks. We've seen quarterback after quarterback that have been so solid in the regular season just fall apart under the pressure in the playoffs. The first one that comes to mind, of course, Sam Darnold, not what we expected out of him after such a good season. But then we saw Jared Goff do it. We saw Jordan Love do it. We saw Justin Herbert do it. All of these really solid quarterbacks, and you name those 4 quarterbacks, they're top quarterbacks in the league. No one expecting Sam Darnold to be there. That's why I think he's getting the most strife. But you look at the other 3, everyone expecting those quarterbacks to have solid seasons. They had solid seasons. Those playoff games just killed them. So as long as Josh Allen doesn't fall into the quarterback problem that we've seen this year, I think he definitely has the ability to push this team.
That's a great point. You see the uncharacteristic falling apart. And that's why, just to look at Josh Allen, I'm not getting that vibe today, man. I think he is set and ready. We got in the chat Grant Gillen saying, let's go Washington and Buffalo. He's cheering for that.
Love
right.
it.
And Grant says, don't forget that 12th man, the ref, is a major help for Casey. It was funny too with the Houston, who was it? Will Anderson saying it was us versus the refs. The problem to me about that is this. And you said it, do some calls seem to go their way? Absolutely. But the thing is, too, in that game, CJ Stroud didn't throw a touchdown. It's like, maybe you should throw one of those. Maybe that would help your cause, right? It's like, it's these teams, you get to a point where you can make all the excuses, but if you're not popping up points against that underrated Chiefs defense, that's where you get beat, right?
Oh, absolutely. And you look at that game, the Kansas City Chiefs allowed them to hang around all game, right? Like they had every opportunity to capitalize on so many opportunities out there on the field, and they just weren't able to take advantage of it. And that's, characteristic of the Kansas City Chiefs. They play with their food, and that's what they seem to be able to do. Clutch moments at the end of the game, they're able to just drive out the win. But until it's the end of the game, they're playing around out there, and there's plenty of opportunities for teams to be able to capitalize on that and come out nice and strong. So I think the Bills have to come out strong out of the gate. They can't give the Chiefs any opportunities, and they can't take the penalties. They have to play smart like the Kansas City Chiefs do. They can't make mistakes out there, because if they're putting their hands to Patrick Mahomes' face, you're going to get that flag. You're going to get the unsportsmanlike contact. So don't do it. Just play a clean game out there. Then it's not in the refs' hands, right? Like, don't leave it up to the refs to see those penalties. And I'm sure the Kansas City Chiefs are super chippy out there, making you want to put your hands in their face, push Mahomes after that pass. So they're baiting you into it. It's just like, the guys out at the club, don't fall into the guy that's trying to bait you into the fight.
Yeah, Grant said too, but the refs also keep drives alive, and Chiefs end up getting points out of it. They're blatant one-sided calls. We saw that last week. Absolutely. The question is, you have to be extra cautious. You have to be aware that whether it's phantom or perceived reality or actual reality, that could be a case. We got Griff in the chat as well. Oh, we'll get to the bets in a second. He said playoffs are about winning moments. That's what Casey does best. In my opinion, it's either Casey winning by 3 or 4 or Buffalo winning by 7. So Griff's thinking either that last minute kind of field goal feel that we're used to, or Buffalo just turning on the gas, which would be a very interesting turn.
Yeah, and probably Josh Allen running it in, right? Like, I think Josh Allen gets multiple touchdowns again.
Ooh, okay. You know what? Let's slide that talk, because that's interesting with our touchdown pick. Let's get to some sick picks, shall we?
It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Okay, so we're looking at maybe some multiple touchdowns here, Joe. And this is a case where you're looking at the Bills and really the gameplay. The Kansas City defense is real good. I think it's a bit of a fool's errand to pick anytime touchdowns for any of the Bills wide receiver, because it's a crapshoot, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a real guess. You might guess right, but you might not. To me, the only like anytime touchdown type of bets for Buffalo are Josh Allen and James Cook, who's also had a great season.
Yeah, heck yeah. I love James Cook to come out strong. You know, that's got to be part of the game plan, right? To keep James Cook on the field, to let him run the ball and keep Mahomes off. So I do think James Cook can get in the end zone. I'm seeing like right around the plus 130 for James Cook.
Let's see. What is multiple touchdowns for Josh Allen? Let's take a little peek-see at that. Minus 130 anytime for 1 to score 2+. That's where we want. Plus 500? Joe.
Oh, yeah. It was plus 700 last week. It was a
smash time.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Josh? Yeah, that's that's tremendous. Okay.
1 to start the game, 1 to end the game. He's got this.
I think so. But like, and it doesn't even seem far-fetched. It's not like some random, right?
Like yeah, Josh Allen definitely isn't some random out there.
No, we're not like, like Xavier Worthy plus 1,600. That would be wild. No, we're talking plus 500 money, double touchdown. I like it. Let's go to the beginning. We haven't talked much about this matchup yet, and get your bets, your picks in the chat here. We love it as well. We'll get back to the Buffalo game in a sec. Griff saying, took Kincaid over 32.5 receiving yards. I like it.
You gotta like Dalton Kincaid. He's great.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy as far as what we can look at against that Chiefs defense. But let's start. Commanders, Eagles. The fun ride of this Jayden Daniels. And Joe, I'm sure you saw this, and I'm just fascinated by this. And apparently, new Browns offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, said they do this at college. He's participated in it, and it depends on the individual. The virtual reality training. Like if you have the right QB mind, like that, where he was training, Joe, at 1 3/4 speeds with the opposing defenses, so that when you go into the game, it's actually slower. Like if you have the mental capacity to process that, like Jayden Daniels, I was blown away. I'm like, that can be such an advantage. It's like you're slowing things down in real time. I'm so impressed by this kid.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's really crazy. I didn't even know that he was doing that. So that's pretty awesome. He's been fantastic this season. Mind
back in college too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's wild. Okay, let's build this out for Eagles and Commanders. I'm not telling you mine. We can build on it. You can take some away. We'll kind of mix and match. Let us know in the chat as well.
So okay, I gotta tell you yours, and you're not telling me mine, or
yeah, you're gonna tell me yours too. Okay. Commanders cover 6.5. I don't think it's a blowout. I think this is close. Division game in Jayden Daniels, and both these defenses can be had.
Yeah.
We're going that. We're going to say Saquon Barkley over 122.5 rushing yards. And I found this stat very interesting coming from Adam Schefter. Check this. Saquon Barkley is averaging 137.5 scrimmage yards per game against the Commanders. Only player to average more scrimmage yards against a single opponent in NFL history, including playoffs, is Jim Brown, the great Jim Brown of our Cleveland Browns, who averaged 147.9 yards per game against the Eagles. So 122.5, sign me up for Saquon. What do you think?
I love Saquon Barkley. I'm actually seeing the numbers dropping on Saquon Barkley. I'm seeing 122.5 out there for his.
That's what I got too.
Yeah, I saw it as high as 131 earlier in the
Ooh.
week, and I even thought he could go over that. You look at that last game in week 11 versus Washington Commanders, he's able to put up 150. We saw him last week in action. He was able to put up 205, and they're big explosive chunks, right? So all he needs to do is break away for 2 or 3 of those, and he's going to fly over 122.5. It's too low for Saquon Barkley, which is crazy because I was seeing the books are saying that this is the highest number they've ever posted on a running back. So
Wow.
it's crazy to see. It's crazy to take to the over, but you cannot fade Saquon Barkley. There's no way you take him under. You either
No.
bet him over or stay off.
Yeah, exactly. If you're squeamish about the number, stay off, but certainly not under. And the thing is, too, Joe, it's like there's nothing more demoralizing to an opponent who knows you're going to do something, and then you do it anyway. And if
Right?
and I got asked last week, what's wrong with the Eagles' passing game? I said, they just run Saquon because he went for 202 tutties. You can still throw to A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
But if they somehow can stop Saquon or slow him down, which I don't think they will, then you still have those other options. I think this Eagles offense maybe is being overlooked a little bit because of the excitement behind Jayden Daniels.
I think so. And I think if Jayden Daniels hadn't looked like what he's looked like all season, well, one, they wouldn't have got here, but two, I think we would have really seen a spread of probably 8.5, right? Instead of a 6.5, because he has looked so strong, so much hype after they got the win last week. So I think the 6.5 isn't a true representation of what the number should be. But I still think Washington with Jayden Daniels, you can't discredit them. I do think they have every ability to pull off the upset. Now it's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, especially against Jalen Hurts, veteran quarterback out here with Saquon Barkley, with the weapons that he does have out there in the wide receiver. But it's going to not be easy for the Eagles either.
No, and that's why we'll take Commanders to cover that 6.5. We'll put the over. Now, Griff in the chat, YWC Football, saying he likes Saquon 150 plus rushing and receiving combined.
Yeah, I think you could do that as well. That's a fantastic bet because you look at the receiving out here for him, and that number is coming in at 12.5. So taking them combined to the over, I think is a great way to go because you're going to get those short dump off passes from Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts decides to try to throw it down the field and then no one is open, right? So you'll get those short dump off passes, and he can go just as long on a dump off, right? Like he could just light it up.
Sure. And for Washington, their defensive tackle, Deron Payne, is going to be out for this game. So that could maybe mean a little more room for Saquon Barkley. I also like, with our ticket, Saquon Barkley anytime touchdown. Pretty safe there. And then Terry McLaurin anytime touchdown. Last 2 weeks in a row, touchdowns. 2 out of the last 3. If you're throwing it in the air, it's going to Scary Terry. I think that's a good play.
Did you know
if we go on,
Barkley up to 200 plus? It's plus 980. He hit 205 last week.
For total scrimmage yards?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think it's worth a sprinkle. The highest number they give you is 225, and that's plus 1,600.
So total scrimmage yard. Joe, I think I like that. What do you guys think in the chat? Ooh, boy, plus 200. Like you said, he went for it last week. He's dominating.
Yeah.
Okay. If let's put a sprinkle on that. My ticket here, my sick picks with Commanders covering, Barkley over 122.5 rushing, Barkley anytime touchdown, Terry McLaurin anytime touchdown, pays plus 987.
Okay. I love where you're going.
Right? Not bad.
Okay.
Yes, of course. I want the Joe Madden experience here. Let's get it. What do we got, Joe, for this game?
Okay, well, I'm going to take one that I really do think is an automatic because Jalen Hurts for the anytime touchdown. That tush push is so beautiful, and I'm hoping his knee is good enough. But on that 1 yard line, we know we're going to get Hurts in that situation where he's not going to care about his knee and just go for it. The Washington Commanders plus the 6.5, I will take. I do think they have the opportunity of winning. So inside the parlay plus the 6.5, I'm going to sprinkle on that money line. Take Saquon Barkley over 122.5 rushing yards. And then I love Terry McLaurin. Oh my God, I can't talk. Terry Now I can't say it. I'm taking
Terry
Terry.
McLaurin.
Yeah, I'm not even going to try to say it again. It's not enough coffee. Putting him in for that touchdown as well. But I am going to look here at Jayden Daniels for his passing prop. That number coming in at 221.5, I think it is too low. I think we're going to see some big explosive plays out of him. I do think he can go over that one. So the 4 legs I have is the Washington Commanders plus 6.5. Saquon Barkley over 122.5. Jalen Hurts for the anytime touchdown. Terry for the anytime touchdown. And Jayden Daniels over 221.5 passing yards coming in at plus 23.59.
Let's go. That's a sick pick.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's gonna be a good day.
And the great thing is it makes sense. Again, right? Like when we do these picks together, Joe, we're not saying, again, the 4th string wide receivers going for 3 touchdowns, something stupid. This makes sense. This lines up. So what is it? Plus what?
23.59.
Let's go. I love that. I'm jumping on as well. The that over 200 total scrimmage yards for Barkley. Yeah. And you brought it up. Great point. We got to track this, the knee health of Jalen Hurts, because we saw when he took that safety sack last week, that mobility was gone.
Yeah.
So how has he recovered? Of course, mobility is a big part of his game and that offense. So something to track with it. The good thing is, if he goes down, not that you want to see Marcus Mariota, of course, but he has proven when he came in, he can at least be functional. He can be mobile. He can at least, it's not a catastrophic fall off in short-term bursts. So
no, and I think if he comes in, if the books offer you a rushing prop on him, take it. Also take him for the rushing touchdowns. You see him come into situations like that, and he just really steps up his game and is able to do that. So that's where I would look.
Jump in like live parlay. Jump in with the live bets there. I like it. Okay, let's go on to the Bills and the Chiefs. All right, let's build out this ticket here together, guys. Let me know what you're thinking in the chat. So we got Kansas City 1.5 point favorites. We know that's a pick 'em. Bills plus 108 straight up winner. Chiefs minus 126 money line. Over under set at 48.5. I kind of like the over. It's over is minus 115, under is minus 105. Like really, if we're just looking at those 3, not really great. Like Vegas is sort of kind of hedging here. Like there's not really great pricing anywhere.
No, there's not. And I really do think you just have to go with, it's not good pricing, but
so maybe we go props. Like I'm not super, like, I guess it depends. Like I want the Bills to win.
Yeah.
But until the Chiefs lose, I can't physically put money on them not losing. Right, Joe? Like it doesn't make sense how. Oh yeah. You're going Bills money line?
Yeah, I'm going Bills money line.
Let's do it. Why not? Let's put the good mojo out there.
Right? Like I can't not. Like, yes, it does feel like I'm just giving the books my money because that's what we've seen all season, right? But I've given it to them all season, so I'll give it to them one more time.
One more time. Bills money line. We're building out the ticket. Okay, we're in the parlay party here now, people. Let's go. So let's see. We like the Josh Allen 2 touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
We're going plus 500 with that. That's great. Now, where do we want to do? I'm seeing Travis Kelce anytime touchdown, Joe, plus 120. Playoff Travis?
Travis is going to get in the end zone. Travis in the playoffs is a different beast, right? He's going to get there. He finds a way. He's so big out there. He's just all of a sudden standing there in the middle of nowhere, completely
all alone.
And it's like, how's no one on Travis Kelce? It's really confusing.
I know. What I found interesting was when they said they have like a play design, but the unspoken connection between him and Mahomes, where Kelce's just able to freestyle, makes it so hard to cover because you can't game plan against that. That's what's so tricky. And that's why I think he remains open. So we'll take Kelce plus 120 on that. We're already up to 1651. What do we like? Do we want some James Cook? Do we like some Kareem Hunt, Pacheco? What else do we want to build out here?
Are we looking at touchdowns or
we can do whatever. We can
rushing and receiving?
We
Okay,
can
I
do.
really like the rushing prop for James Cook. It was 55.5 earlier. Yeah, it's still 55.5.
Mhm.
I think he can go over that. His rushing attempts might be interesting as well. 14.5, you're getting plus money with that, plus 108. I think that is a nice number. I
We
like
got one in the chat here. We got one in the chat here, Joe, from Griff saying Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. One to
I think-
Travis Kelce.
And one to whoever the heck else. Could be anybody.
Yeah.
Player, passing TD,
Short
1.5.
one off to Noah Gray as well. I think Noah Gray gets in the action. He's plus 550.
Ooh.
I love
For
the back
anytime?
tight ends. Yeah, plus 550 anytime touchdown.
Now, do we want that for the ticket or maybe a little standalone? I'm nervous putting that in the ticket. Yeah.
Standalone.
So we'll do Pat over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Now, Josh Allen over 1.5 passing touchdowns is plus 136. Now, depending here, we'd have to then think he has to run 2 in and then pass for 2. Not unthinkable, but what do we think of the passing TDs over 1.5?
I'm nervous for the over 1.5. He should be able to get there, right? But
Right.
I look at the run game, and I think they're going to be so much more comfortable in that run game against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
right?
especially with that defense. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would look there. It's going to be really interesting. One thing I've been playing all season that's been a moneymaker is the defensive touchdowns. Do you think either of these defenses can get the interception for one and then get the touchdown? The Bills' defensive touchdowns coming in at plus 650, the Kansas City Chiefs at plus 700. I do think with the rate Mahomes has been throwing those interceptions that it would be Mahomes because we're going to have to see him throw the ball more in this game than run it.
Now, I saw
plus 650.
I saw this stat here. I'm trying to find it. It was something. I forget what it was. Something like since the Bills and Chiefs played each other earlier, where Buffalo won, and they threw 3 combined interceptions in that game. Each of them has thrown like one the rest of the way or something, which says, okay, maybe they got better, but also maybe playing each other means that there is one.
Something to note. So those interceptions, minus 108 right now for the Kansas City, for Mahomes, and minus 102 for Josh Allen to throw that interception. As the game ticks on, you guys, because of what I do on the grid for that live betting, we're seeing those interception props going into the second half at like plus 170, plus 180, plus 200 kind of range. So we were able to, jump on Lamar. So looking at the quarterback that is down coming into the second half to really have to throw that ball, especially if the Bills are down by a couple scores, Josh Allen's interception prop is going to be through the roof. So look for that plus money at that point.
So maybe we hold off and do that in game?
Yeah, I would do in game for the interceptions, unless you think that one of them is going to have nerves coming in and throw it right away, but I doubt it. And you can also jump in on the over 1.5 at that point. You can jump in on more interceptions. So I think the interceptions probably come late, right? Under that pressure by these teams. Yeah.
Got to push, right? Have that YWC in the chat saying, weirdly, I think it would be Buffalo to have a pick 6 over KC. That would be spicy.
It would be. I think they could get the pick 6 as well. So I would take Buffalo at plus 650 over the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't trust that defense to get it.
I don't either. If Buffalo gets a pick 6, they're winning this ballgame.
Yeah.
I think straight. I think it's over at that point. Because you got to win that turnover game. That's where Kansas City, like we said, beats you. They hold on. They wait. Yeah. So is there anything else with that game? Because we got a nice 5-legger here. You want to sprinkle in anything else with this ticket, or are you good?
We got to look at some of the defensive props.
Okay.
Chris Jones is going to get in this game.
Ooh.
Right? Let me just see.
Sack? Plus 144 sack.
Yeah. I'd look at the sack there. Von Miller plus 235 to get the sack. Come on. Von Miller is bringing the heat today.
Big game guy. Plus 235. Oh, this is a good looking ticket. We're at a 7-legger now. Let's go. Okay. Joe, we are at plus 28,459. Team Jandy on fire. Oh. Parlay party. Let's review this and let's see what it is. Okay. So we got, come on. Okay. Bills money line.
Yeah.
Josh Allen scored 2+ tutties.
Yeah.
Anytime Travis Kelce. James Cook over 55.5 rushing yards. Patrick Mahomes over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Chris Jones sack, Von Miller sack, plus 28,458. We put $10 on that. 2,845.94. Nice little Sunday for you. How about
That
it?
is a beautiful Sunday. Woo! Okay. Do we just take out the Bills on the money line to see what that is?
Ooh, sure. Let's take that out. Let's
take
see.
the Bills out. I think
we'll
we put $10 on that, but taking the Bills out because it's only a plus 108 bet. Like
That's
it
true.
shouldn't bring it down too much. And then we take out the whole equation of the Bills getting the win.
Oh, you're right. It only takes us down to plus 21,683. $10, 2,168. Yeah?
I'm in. Yeah.
Boom. 6-legger. Bills, Chiefs. I love it. That's okay. That's awesome. We're set here. That's a good looking ticket. We're gonna bet that. If you guys want to want me to repeat it or whatever, hit me up in the chat or on X at AndyMC81 at SickPod Browns. Joe, where can people find you today? Because I know later today you're gonna be rocking it on the sports grid all day.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got Pucka with Joe coming up at noon Eastern, and then I will have in-game live. I'm live on the grid for the full length of the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills game. So we're going to be live betting this game. It's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys come over and join us at Sports Grid.
That's such a grind. You're a warrior. It's just the whole game just betting it live. Love it. Joe, this is so much fun. Thank you so much for joining us all season. We'll have you on again real soon. I always love it. Thank you.
I love it too. Thanks, Andy. And all the best, you guys. Good luck on those parlays.
All right. Good luck. Thank you, Joe. There she goes. Joe Madden from Sports Grid. Make sure you check her out later on today. I am digging that ticket, folks. I like it. So we got the parlay for the, I think it was plus 9 something, 85 or something for Eagles Commanders. And then this ticket. Would you guys take anything out? Josh Allen, 2 tutties. Anytime Travis, tutty. Cook over 55.5 rushing. Mahomes over 1.5. Chris Jones sack. Von Miller sack. Pretty nice. I don't know. I think we can see that. The Von Miller one makes me a bit nervous. I will be honest. What if we take Miller out just for fun? Drops us all the way down to 6,893. Hell with it. Might as well keep Miller in. Jumps us up a ton. Why not? Right? All right. Boom. Joe Madden, legend as always, jumping on with us. I want to know too, in the chat, we'll be talking more about it on Tuesday's show. Shedeur Sanders talked with the Browns, talked with other teams, seemed well spoken. At the East-West Shrine Bowl, is he the right quarterback for the Browns? Oh, and where do you rank him just in general in this interesting draft class? To me, I still want Will Howard. If I can get him in the 3rd round, tremendous. We'll be having mocks. I'm going to be looking at the free agency class. As it stands now, guys can resign, whatever. But trying to get a vibe, a feel of what the Browns could, trying to be ballers on a budget here with that stupid Deshaun Watson salary cap limitations that are hovering over endlessly. But what can we get? And then how does that affect the possible draft stuff? So lots of mocks coming up. Senior Bowl coming up as well. We're going to be tracking that very closely. So keep an eye on that. Thank you so much to Joe Madden from Sports Good for jumping on, for producer Shane, for all of you for joining the parlay party. Good luck with your betting today. It's going to be a great day for football. I'm Andy McNamara, and as always, go Browns!
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Andy McNamara on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.